Hello and welcome to another edition of Labrats. So we've taken a little bit of a break and now we're back, and I thought I would start with an experiment that essentially combines all of the different scientific methods and concepts that we've been looking at for the last couple months. So this week in your lab kit, you have a bottle of some kind, some canola oils, and you're supposed to supply your own water, and some food coloring and some Alkaseltzer tablets. So this week we're going to make something called a Alkaseltzer lava lamp. And essentially this experiment is going to produce this really neat result that is combining all of the different concepts that we've been learning about in the different labs that we've been doing about acids and bases and chemical reactions and matter and all of these different things. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add some water. Well, actually, let's add some food coloring first. So it's best that you have a tray, because sometimes this experiment can be quite vigorous and it can overflow the top of the bottle. So just make sure that you have a tray in case that happens. So we're gonna just add some food coloring into our bottle here. So you can add quite a bit if you want, it doesn't really matter. Then we're gonna take some water here and we're gonna add the water into our bottle until it's about half full or so. You don't have to be precise. Then we're going to take some oil, so some regular canola oil, and we're going to add a bunch of canola oil in. And we learned from our labs on chemical reactions and density that oil naturally floats on top because oil and water do not have the same density, right? They do not have the same density, which leads oil to floating on top, and they don't chemically react, so we don't have any of those hallmarks of a chemical reaction taking place. There are no gas, there's no color change, there's no temperature change, and we don't have a precipitate, right? So we can say, yes, this is oil. No, we don't have a chemical reaction. Good, that's exactly what we were expecting. So I'm just gonna swish some of this around to catch a little bit more of that food coloring. Okay, so the food coloring also doesn't really like to mix with the oil because the food coloring is a different density than the oil as well. So in your lab kit, you have something called Alkaseltzer. So these are little tablets that are typically added to water and you drink them. It's essentially for heartburn and whatever else. So the active ingredients, if you look on the back of the package, are acetylsalicylic acid and sodium bicarbonate. And from our labs on acids and bases, we should know that acetylsalicylic acid is obviously an acid, sodium bicarbonate is a base. So automatically, we should expect that there's going to be some kind of chemical reaction that takes place because acids and bases chemically react with each other, right? They do react with each other. So I want you to open this package. Inside there will be 2 little tablets. What I want you to do is break those in half because they're not big enough, or they're too big on their own to fit in. So break them in half, and now we're going to drop them in. And you see that they start having a chemical reaction. We have water that gas that's being produced is proving to us that we have a chemical reaction. Now this chemical reaction is taking place because sodium bicarbonate and the acetylsalicylic acid, which are the active ingredients in Alka-Seltzer tablets, they begin to react when they hit the water, and so they produce all these gas bubbles, and it kind of produces an effect that's very similar to a lava lamp, if you've ever seen a lava lamp before. So this is a little bit different than a lava lamp. Lava lamps are actually water and wax, so it's actually the wax that heats up that flows, but it's the same kind of idea, right? Wax and water have different densities, just the same as oil and water have different densities. So that's our experiment for today. We're essentially just combining a bunch of the principles that we've learned about previously. If you want to go out and get more Alka-Seltzer tablets, you can continue to do this experiment and produce this kind of fun, cool looking reaction that shows us just exactly what chemical reactions are, why acids and base react, combining all of this information. And essentially that's what scientists do. We take a bunch of different concepts and we combine them to come to bigger understandings. So I hope you enjoy that experiment, and I'll see you guys next week.